All right, so hello. My name is Holly. I'm an occupational therapist assistant and physiotherapist assistant student from Niagara College. And today I'm doing an interview with Anushka here. I'm going to be asking her quite a few questions about her culture. She comes from New Delhi, India. So just want to find out some more information about their healthcare system, how it compares to Canada's, some other things to do with her culture, specifically her beliefs and views, and also going to answer some other questions as well. And yeah, so we'll get started. So my first question is, what beliefs do you have within your culture according to healthcare?
So basically, the beliefs I have in my culture is it depends on where are you belong to. It's like we have rural and urban places, like it's totally different. So there are like some places where you can get through like by yourself. So you have different way of transferring the medical care over there. So we have like preliminary, primary, secondary, and tertiary healthcares. That's basically the level of healthcare in there. So that's how we totally do it. And it's kind of like mixed we have in our culture. Like there is some cultural beliefs are in there, but some of them are not.
Okay. Um, what other beliefs do you have according to your healthcare system?
Like
Anything else in particular?
like in general.
Yeah. Like, do you believe you guys have a good healthcare system?
Yeah, it's pretty good. Like people who are below poverty lines,
Mm-hmm.
like which we are the country that has like overpopulated country. We count as in like overpopulated. We are not like population. We have overpopulated, so we need to cover the healthcare for all. So the healthcare we have, who people are like below poverty and we cannot afford the private and the government. So government provide them some procedures and their medication for free. But that has like if you gotta go to clinic for now, so you get the few dates like you have in here,
Mm-hmm.
like the waiting stuff you have here, like you get the date and then you go to the doctor. So it's like that, but that's all free, and that's for the people who are like below poverty line. And if you are a like government service, you are in government service, then you got like some kind of a discount. Like if I'm paying $100,
Mm-hmm.
I might get like 25% off or my 30% off. So it's kind of like less for people who are in government services. And if you
Okay.
go directly into the private service, you just pay and get your procedure done.
So you're paying out of your own pocket then,
Yeah,
basically.
people have
Okay.
like different, you can say, the health insurance, the coverage from private or government sites. So there are like lot of private company who provide you health insurance, so you have to just deposit like a specific amount every month,
Mm-hmm.
and they're gonna cover your full health coverage.
Okay. All right. So then my next question is there any particular rules or guidelines that you have to follow when you receive healthcare in your country?
um Not like I cannot say like exactly like for everyone,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, for a few, yes, they are. So it's like we are serving healthcare in two different types. Like we have private and the government. So government has like specific, you can say, specific way of giving you the healthcare.
Mm-hmm.
So first you have to go there and do the whole checkup stuff. And if you have a health insurance, you're gonna show them the card you have of the health insurance,
Mm-hmm.
and they're gonna made you like some kind of like reimbursement when you do it.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's what it's called. And in private, you just go and pay the bills and you get your treatment done.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like that. It's not like any particular rules or guidelines we have. It depends like what condition you are in.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not too critical, they won't let you stay for like a week or something.
Okay.
So, but they're still gonna get you 24-hour surveillance in there.
Okay.
And we have a lot of like private clinics. It's not just like you can go to private hospital or government hospital. It's just like we have private clinics too.
Okay.
So it's not necessarily like if you are sick you have to go directly to the hospital. You can go to a clinic and check up the doctor, and all the
Right.
doctors are like finish their MBBS or MD. They're all like high professional doctors.
Okay.
They're not like someone who just like complete their degree,
Right.
like junior doctors. They're not residents or something.
Okay.
They're like senior doctors. So you can go there, get your treatment done. If they kind of like refer you, like there is like in a hospital, if they cannot do it, they're gonna refer you to some other hospital. So can you go there and get your treatment done?
Okay. And so you kind of already talked about how your healthcare system is organized with private and government already. So I guess, so do you have health coverage that's available to everyone, or does it depend?
No, it's depend. So basically what happened is like, if like I'm a private person, all right, I work in a private company, so it does not cover everything, like dental or eye. It does not cover everything. It's just cover like a small amount of my health coverage, and it's gonna cut from my salary, like from every month, a like specific amount. So it's gonna get into my health insurance. So that will cover the whole thing. But if I'm a government employee and I do work under government sector, so what happened is like I can pay, like if I'm the, like my mom, she works in a government, she's a government employee. So she have a healthcare card just that covered like my, like her husband and her children. So it covered my whole family.
Okay.
So
you're all
that's-
under one.
Yeah. So it's like if you have only like one person who is government employee, so that can cover your whole family.
Oh, okay.
It's like that. So it's not like whenever I need health coverage, I can take my mom's employee card because I have my name under it. So I can go and I get the same benefit as my mom.
Okay.
So it's like that. It's not like kind of a different something. But for the people who are like poor or who are like below poverty line, it's kind of different. Like because they have to wait. They get the free services, but they have to wait for like a long time.
Okay.
They get the free medication, and the coverage we have for the people like who have health insurance is almost everything. It's not like it does not include the dental service or something. It's almost like coverage of everything. Because when I was employed in a hospital, because I used to be as a nurse, as I told you before.
Yep.
So I got uncovered, like I can get my family, like my parents, for a checkup. So I can get the free checkup, like you can go and get the free consultation for my parents.
Okay.
But for the medication and for the procedures, I get like certain amount off. It's like 20% off on the medication and like 50% off on the procedures. So it's kind of work like that.
Well, because you work as a nurse.
Yeah.
In the country. Okay.
No, it's like it depends on the place you're working in, and it depends on the what position. Are you like private employee or government employee, or it depends on the what coverage your company are giving you. And it's also depend on like your income too. Like if you are poor, you cannot get all benefits.
Right.
If you are rich, like you can pay for anything. But if you are belong to a middle class family, you have to look for it. Like it's gonna be like private or government. So private is kind of like fast service. Like if you need an immediate kind of like treatment for anything, you just go and get paid. In government you have to kind of wait, not too long, but yeah, you kind of have to wait.
A bit. Okay. I'm gonna say, is there anything that you, I guess, really like about your country's healthcare system at all?
Yeah. So you want me to compare from here?
Yeah.
So here, what I heard is like you guys have to wait for a long time because you guys are covered in the whole thing. You got like your healthcare services are coverage under coverage, but and you don't have that much private services here.
Yeah, not too many.
Yeah. So what happened is like in my country is like if I need a treatment, I can get it right away. I don't have to wait.
Okay.
So if I have my health insurance done, I can just go and use it, and I can just in health insurance you have to pay beforehand, then you can just reimburse all your fees and stuff, right? So it's like that. It's just like there are a few things that are not good, like there are some procedures that are not good, like you cannot rely on that. Like in the clinics you can go for a checkup. It's kind of like waiting, like because there are a lot of people rely on that because it's in your area. Like if you're residing in Niagara Falls, you have like specific clinics in there that area.
Right.
So all the people in that area are gonna go there, right? They first go there, then they get themselves transferred to the hospital. Like if that doctor suggests like, okay, you need to go to the hospital, then only you can go to the hospital. Otherwise, you don't go.
Right.
So that's kind of like that. But it's kind of like good thing because if it's an emergency or you wanted your treatment right away, you just go and get the consultation done. All right. So like if the hospital is not nearby, it's far. So first you can go there, do the preliminary treatment right there. So just you can just take calm and stop whatever. Like you can just handle the emergency right over there, and then you can take your time and go to the hospital for the further treatments.
Okay. Well, you don't have any wait times at all.
We have it. It's basically it depends what healthcare system you are choosing, right? If you're going for your government healthcare, then you have to wait because almost more than half of the people are relying on government hospitals because they are kind of cheap.
Okay.
Private healthcare system is expensive.
Yeah.
It's not cheap, but it's kind of fast.
It's faster, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the difference.
Okay. And is there anything in particular that you feel is important to help you, I guess, live a long, healthy life in your culture? Anything you do in particular?
It's like
Like a healthy diet is important
yeah.
to you?
We basically don't eat like that much junk food. We almost prepare our own food like at home.
Yeah, you say you home cook a lot more.
Yeah. So we all almost like dependent on the green vegetables and stuff, the fruits and vegetables. Like when I used to stay at my home, my mom always cooked me like fresh with the fresh vegetables. And it's always like if I want to cook, we do the groceries only for like 2 or 3 days, not for like a week.
Okay.
So it's kind of like just to stay fresh.
Right.
So it's we used to have like my mom is kind of like strict on diet, so they'd be like, you can get the outside food, but not like every single day.
Right.
You can go out and eat like on weekends or stuff like that. When I was a child, I used to do that.
Yes.
So that's kind of thing. Like, and we have some kind of like home remedies for almost everything. Not for everything, but yeah, kind of like things like cough, headaches, and if you have kind of like pain or something. So we first do the home remedies. Then if it's like it's really really worse, then you gotta go to hospital. Otherwise, if you can get rid of with the home remedies, you can do it.
So in other words, it's preferred to try to cure it at home as opposed to going right away.
If it's not like emergency or it's not a worse condition, like you cannot treat the heart attack at home. It's like only the basic one, not everything, only the basic.
Like a cough or a cold or
Yeah.
something like that.
Then you can cure it.
Okay. Now, do you have any health conditions or illnesses that are particularly prevalent in your country?
Yeah. We have diabetes, heart attacks. The cardiovascular diseases are more. And yeah, basically those are like the main ones. And the cancer.
And cancer too, yeah.
Yeah. These like 3 are the main. But basically like because of the strict lifestyle and stuff like these, the diabetes is becoming like more common in people. It used to be like genetical, but it's not now. Even like every third person is getting diabetic in India. So that's the case. Like
So it's growing more.
Growing more and more. The diabetes and the cardiovascular conditions are more in India rather than and the overpopulation stuff. So as in COVID, because of the population, like we have so many people in one place, it's kind of like a risky,
right?
And we have like more cases of COVID in India rather than the other countries we have in the world. Like the US have one and we have one.
And even on our news here in Canada, we hear a lot about your country too.
Yeah, so that's kind of like increasing because like there are like so many people who's like basically it's in the people who live in the rural areas. Like you don't have that much hospitality over there. It's not developed.
Have less access to services. Then.
Yeah, like we have so many regions that are residing in mountains and stuff, so you cannot made a hospital on a mountain,
Right.
So they cannot get the services like we can get it.
Makes sense, yeah.
So
Kind of
that's
similar
the-
to here too, in a way.
Yeah.
Okay. You kind of already mentioned that you guys use a lot of home remedies for certain
Yeah.
things, but can you talk about some in particular that you have?
Yeah, we use turmeric and milk
Okay.
for like sore throat and stuff, and the vapor rub.
Vapor rub, yeah.
So we do it first. That like if it's not curing, then you can go to the doctor. Otherwise, like if you know the few names of the medication, like the cough syrups, you can just get it and do it as it says in the instructions. But if it's like a newborn or something, you should have like go to the hospital. Otherwise, if like we adults or the children like 10 or 12 years, we basically do the home remedies, like the hot water, the water and salt.
Yeah.
Those sort of things.
And the water and salt is good for if you have a sore throat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just like that.
And the turmeric and milk that you mentioned, what is that?
It's kind of
What's
like
it
if
good
you
for?
have a fever or something, so they do it like the wet towel. If you have fever, so they put the towel in a ice cold water and then just soak it in there and they put it on your head, so you get your body temperature get down.
Okay.
That's kind of used for it with the medications, of
With
course.
medication, yeah. All right. What is your, I guess your culture, what are your beliefs on medications, for example, or getting vaccinations?
Yeah, so it's kind of like mandatory, like in our culture, like we do take medication
Yeah.
and vaccination too. Like if we have a baby, it has to gotta take all the vaccines we have like till 15 years.
So do you get a choice in that, or you have to?
No, it's kind of like a doctor mentioned you like, okay, you gotta do it. And the first vaccine, of course, take the BCG and stuff. When the baby just got born, they're gonna give it them, right? So it starts from there. Like, so whenever you go to the doctor after that, so they're gonna ask you like, did you get all the vaccines or not? So it's kind of like you can say the mandatory, like you gotta take the vaccines. So they kind of have like community hospitals too, so that people who live in rural areas, so they can get the vaccines from that place.
Oh, okay.
So that's kind of like cheaper for them. And some of the places they are free, so they can get access to the vaccines, even from the pregnant women.
Okay.
And for the medication, it depends. Like we have different type of medication, like Western, homeopathy, and the allopathy. So it depends, like what treatment you're choosing to, because like the Western is like the medication you guys have, right? It's kind of like Western culture, like the tablets and stuff.
All right. So, what's the life expectancy in your country?
So basically, that's
For men and women.
an obvious, like men lives more longer than the women's. So it's kind of like 70 years old for men's. It's kind of decreased. Like before we had like 80 or 90, but because of the disease conditions and diabetes, it's kind of decreased to 70. And for women, it's like somewhere between 60 to 70.
Okay. Yeah, it's definitely a bit different than we have here.
You have a little longer.
Yeah, the life expectancy is a bit longer, but
Yeah, and it's depends on the health condition too. Like if you're
Right.
healthy, you live longer. If you're not, then
that's right. You live a shorter life. That is
Yeah.
true. Okay. So, do you have an experience that you've had being in this country with our healthcare system?
Yeah, I went to the beach this summer and I somehow got my ear clogged with water, and I thought it's gonna be fine in like 2 or 3 days, so I didn't took any medication. But when the problem is getting worse, because I was unable to hear from my like left ear, like I can hear but not that loud, not that clear, like with the right ear. So I went to the pharmacy and asked for the pharmacist about the medications. So he suggested me like, okay, these are the medication you can work on it. So I took that and that didn't work. So I again went to the drugstore and asked like, okay, I took this medication and it didn't work. So she was like, what just happened? So I told her the whole story, like I went to the beach and my ear got clogged. And then she told me like, okay, so did you took that medication? I'm like, yeah, I already did, and it didn't work. And then she suggested like, okay, we only have these medication. If anything can work with you,
Mm-hmm.
you can take that. Otherwise, I'm gonna suggest you just go to the clinician, go to the doctor, take an appointment. Like, she cannot suggest me anything like, okay, like try this or something like that.
So she didn't give you any other options?
No, she said like, this gonna work. So I bought like one more medication that it had like some kind of like olive oil in it.
Mm-hmm.
So I put that and the other medication alternatively, like simultaneously. Like morning, I took that one, and the evening, like at night,
Mm-hmm.
I took the one that has olive oil in it. So that's kind of like goes on for like 3 to 4 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of like had to struggle with this for a month.
It's a long time.
Yeah, but if I think she got a new like what I can do, or what she can just suggest me like, you can do this, but she can just tell me like, we don't have that many medication of it, so you can just go directly to the doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for that also I have to take an appointment first, then only I can go for a doctor.
Right.
And also, like, my friend, she had an experience too here. She got sick, she went to the emergency department, and they thought that she might suffering from COVID because she had a fever.
Mm-hmm.
So they asked her to just go home first and take some antibiotics and quarantine herself for like 14 days. But she's like, she didn't have the COVID. It's
Yeah,
just
so
a fever. It's like 104. If you have 104 fever, you're not supposed to like let anybody go with the antibiotics. You still have to
Right.
give some treatment to them.
Yeah.
So that's all of it. Till then, like, I don't have any other experience. Only got sick only for one time. Whatever I had in my ears.
Well, it's not a great experience, but
Yeah, it's not, and I don't want to get sick in here.
no.
So yeah.
Okay. So can you tell me anything else, I guess, interesting in general about your culture?
Yes. So we have
Some fun
like,
facts.
fun facts is like, we have a lot of different kind of cuisines. Like, I really want, if I can cook, I can really want you to try that. And we have a lot of places to go on. We have mountains, beaches, and like the cold. It's not that cold like here, but yeah, we have some places that have like snowfall. Like the place I live,
Mm-hmm.
it's not that like, it's not snowy. So the winter is not. The winter is kind of dry. It's not snowfall or something. We have like so many historical monuments,
Mm-hmm.
and we have approx like 100 different languages.
It's a lot.
Yeah. So it's kind of like every state has their like own language. Like basically Hindi is our national language,
Okay.
which is like spoken by almost every single person. The second common language is English.
Mm-hmm.
And then they have their own tribal language. As you can see, like here, people from Punjab, they can speak Punjabi,
Mm-hmm.
which is one of the Indian language, and people from Gujarat, they can speak Gujarati. So, and we have like so many different festivals. One is like coming up in now October,
Mm-hmm.
last week, and it's the Sierra. And we have the festival of color that is Holi. It's in March, so probably I have to play with you, so we can play all together.
Yeah.
And we have like a lot of festival here, and we live with our family. We all go out together, and we have lots of like our cultural dresses. Like almost every state has their own cultural dress, which is kind of like very colorful.
Mm.
They have different songs with their like theme songs in their own languages,
Wow.
and you can basically see like the northern India is totally different than the southern India. So it's kind of like the northeast, west, south is totally different from whatever they have.
Mm.
So you found like a lot of different food on the other side of Indian part.
What are some of your favorite foods?
My favorite food is like, I like to have like different cuisine from different country as well. But my favorite is, I love to eat chicken. The chicken curry is my favorite.
Yeah.
And my mom made home cooked pav bhaji. I love that. And
what is that?
that's kind of like buns, like you have it here. It's kind of like similar, like you have the hamburger buns, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So it's kind of like have it, and you have some. The bhaji is basically a mixture of potato, peas, and the pumpkin. So kind of mixture of that.
Mm.
So it's kind of like gravy. So you put the gravy, and you have some butter on the top.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of like mix it, eat it with that. And then we have a lot of drinks. So you get the yogurt. You can just blend the yogurt with the milk and put some lot of fruits and vegetable in it.
Mm-hmm.
So if you put the fruits in there, and like make a smoothie, that's kind of like good. Tastes good.
Sure.
So I really want you to try and travel there. So you might get that fun.
Yes, I would definitely like to do that in the future for sure.
Yeah.
All right, well, I've definitely asked you all the questions for sure. Thank you for letting me interview you today.
No problem.
Appreciate it. And I learned a lot, so that was good.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that concludes my interview. So thank you for watching.
Thank you.